Hello and welcome to this live broadcast of a Rum Taste Challenge this morning. This is for the Wednesday slot, by the way. No liquor on Wednesday. This is Castillo Silver, Puerto Rican rum from Ronde Castillo y Silla, Catania, Puerto Rico, 40% alcohol, at least 1 second. Bottled on a 337 day of 2018. There's a recipe on the back. Castillo in cola. 1 part Castillo silver, 3 parts cola. Pour over ice in a tall glass. Garnish with a lime wedge. Bacardi brands. This is from Bacardi Limited. They like to put recipes on the back of the bottles. Very nice. Okay. What did I find out about Castillo? Been on the market since 1914. Was it started by Bacardi as a budget brand? This I do not know. Or was it a company independent, an independent company that was later purchased by Bacardi? This I do not know. I do know that Pabst gave me this hat, this trucker cap. Thank you. You say, oh, you're special. No, I just happened to walk by this booth, this Pabst booth that they had set up for the Super Bowl, what they call it, for the big game. They weren't affiliated with the Super Bowl, but the big game in New Orleans. And they were giving out caps. So I said, can I have one? He said, yeah. So I took it. All right. Anybody else that walked by could have gotten one. I've gotten caps like that. One time they sent me one in the mail, though. I wrote them an email, said, I like your beer. They sent me all kind of stuff. That was before I started doing video reviews. Okay. So I wasn't hustling for video reviews, to play off of that. I just sent them an email. All right. But anyway, so that's the story on that Castillo. Now, we have a viewer, Captain Bailey. Hey, Cap, I watched your high gravity lager video this morning. Hey, Ron, he says, okay, Caliber rum. All right, Caribbean silver rum, imported, crafted in the Caribbean islands. Which island? I don't know. With passion and excellence. Wow, passion, excellence. Bottled by IWA Distilling Company Limited, Louisville, Kentucky. So you never heard of them. Yeah, I know you never heard of them. But let me tell you something. That's Sazerac. Sazerac. The people that make Barton 1792, Eagle Rare, Wheatley Vodka, Pappy Van Winkle, Ancient Age, and so on and so on. They also own these days, they bought it, Southern Comfort, and so on and so on. Now, I did some trademark research, and it indicated that this was owned by Walmart since 2004. That's when it was introduced. Okay, even gave the exact date it was first used in commerce. Other stores sell it. I've seen Caliber at other stores. So I don't know if Walmart owns the brand and they let people buy it. They lease it out to them. I don't know how that works, okay? But that is the case that they gave me. Yeah, saw that. Thanks. You're welcome. Anytime, anytime. All right. So, but whatever. You can get these huge bottles, beautiful plastic bottles. Nothing like the thud of plastic, right? Play music on this thing. And there's a palm tree on an island, a rum barrel, and a ship. Now, those things make you think of the Caribbean in this 18th century. Plastic does not, but whatever. Look, you can get that huge bottle for $9.96. You say, what a great sale. Not a sale, regular price. This big 1 liter, okay, so this is a 1 liter. I bought this at Discount Depot on US Highway 90 business route on the westbound side of the road in Marrero, right on the corner of that major highway in Louisiana Highway 45. It's a north-south road, goes from the Mississippi River down to the swamps, and it stops because the land runs out. There's the Gulf of Mexico after that. Okay, but anyway, I said that's a great deal. Other places sell Castillo. Mathern sells Castillo. Winn-Dixie sells it. All right, but not for that cheap. All right. Now here we got the 1,000 plus an extra 750. So it's a regular bottle, 750 plus 1,000 extra milliliters. For $9.96, I said, well, even if it's bad, I'll buy it. You know, what's the worst that could happen? Am I going to get them confused? No way, no how. Ain't going to happen. It's got a nice built-in pour, though. I got to say that. Now, I've tried the Caliber Canadian blended whiskey. It's pretty good. Actually, it was much better than I had ever believed it would be. I don't see a Caliber blended American whiskey, just a blended Canadian. I don't see a Caliber straight bourbon or blended bourbon. They may exist. I don't think so. There's Caliber gin. There's Caliber vodka. There's Caliber silver rum, like I just showed you. There's Caliber spice rum, which I've never tried. There's Caliber schnapps of all types, some of which come in glass bottles. I've seen glass bottles where at Walmart, no, at Savannah discount. Once again, proof that Caliber can be purchased other places. And there may be more. I don't know the whole Caliber line. All right. We were in Lafayette 2 days ago, and I saw all these brands of rum, gin, so on. Canadian whiskey from Quality House. You say Quality House. Yeah, they were cheap. I don't know how quality they were, but you know, Quality House is a Heaven Hill brand. Okay, Quality House. Heaven Hill runs a number of budget brands. Heaven Hill itself, Quality House, Clubhouse, Outhouse. No, I don't know about. I shouldn't say that. They don't run that. And other stuff. Sazerac's got a bunch of those things like Bentley. You're riding in a Bentley and you drink Bentley. No, you don't ride in a Bentley and drink Bentley. And I've seen Bentley around, and oh my goodness, all these flavored vodkas have been showing up at my Thurns, and they're all from Heaven Hill. And what's the name of that? It's $5.99 a liter. $5.99 a liter. What's the name of that stuff? It keeps coming in. I haven't tried it. I know people are buying that stuff. They must have got a great deal on it. Oh, man. If I said the name, you'd recognize it. Oh, peach, watermelon. It doesn't stop. I could find out, but it doesn't really matter. Okay, boy, is it coming in? Look, this is not going to be a challenge, so I know I'll be off at the top of the hour because I'm getting hungry. The Castillo is relatively dry. Now, the driest white rum I've tried so far, or silver rum, really is clear. It's not white or silver, it's clear. Is the Skull dry white. It's called dry white, and it is dry. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. The Bacardi and the Castillo tend to be dry. The Caliber, it ain't dry at all. It's sweet. You know, that's the difference when you're talking about liquor and wine. Dry, you got two types, really. You got dry, which is like crisp, and then the opposite is sweet. Those are your two polar points on wine and liquor. Dry or sweet, and they'll be somewhere in between those 2 points. So you could put dry at the top side, sweet at the bottom, or left to right. It doesn't really matter. Well, I already know what it is. This is like rock candy. The Caliber is the sweetest candy-like rum I ever had. It smells literally like cotton candy and rock candy. You say, well, they added sugar. Well, I don't know if they added sugar. You know what it's made from? Sugar. Rum is made from light molasses, a sugar derivative, or if you want to say a leftover. When they processed sugar back in the 1600s, they found out that the leftover, the dross, the refuse, the gunk, just like with beer, they have leftover stuff that they squeeze out. The beer is what you get. course, now today the thing is unfiltered, but usually they filter it and then you get the clear liquid. All right, but the leftover, the beer, they don't waste. No, 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 no. They do not waste it. Sometimes they'll run the liquid through a second time. They do that with liquor too, like with Canadian Mist. They say it's a second running. That's why it's light and has less flavor. It's meant to be that way because some people don't like strong liquor flavors. And Jack Daniel's Gentleman Jack costs more than regular Jack Daniel's, but it's all it is Jack Daniel's run through the filter a second time. And they said on Brown Foreman, a video I saw, they said it's like taking a tea bag and using it a second time. You know what's going to happen if you use a tea bag the second time. You'll have tea, but it'll be so watered down. That's the concept behind Gentleman Jack and the Canadian Mist. Okay, well, all that leftover stuff after they've squeezed as much of the beer out that they can, they sell it to farmers. The farmers buy it, they let it dry out, and they feed it to the cattle. They eat it. They love it. They don't get drunk. You know, the alcohol is gone. Oh, they don't waste it. They don't waste it. The sugar cane, they don't waste it. All the stalks, they make bagasse out of it. They make particle board is what they make. Okay. That's what that's called, bagasse, the leftover. The molasses, the leftover juice, they realized they could use it. They could make rum from it. And you know they don't waste the molasses. They make silver rum, gold rum, añejo rum, aged and dark rum, if it's really dark molasses. Good morning, says Neil Sullivan. Good morning to you. Now, this one, oh, do you like candy? Because you would love this. Now, some people would hate this. They would hate it, hate, because the sugar, and it's cane sugar, okay? It's so strong. Others would just love it. I think you could put that in coffee. It would sweeten the coffee. Like you could just, don't put sugar in the coffee. Take regular hot coffee, put this in, some in, get a spoon, mix it around. It would be rum coffee, and it would be so sugary that the coffee would be sweet. I'm not joking. I've never smelled any rum like that, but you might find it intriguing, or you might be appalled by it and just say, get it away from me. It's candy. It's kids rum. Well, it ain't for kids. You got to be 21 in America, in the USA, the land of the free. In other countries, I think Canada, you got to be 18 to drink. Mexico, 18. In some countries, 16. So in America, you can't drink alcohol if you're 20, if you're 18. Are you crazy? You're not responsible enough to drink alcohol. You could hurt someone. Now you can join the Coast Guard Reserve and shoot a machine gun on patrol because, you know, you're 17 and you've been trained, and we think you have a lot of maturity, and you should be able to shoot a machine gun and make arrests, by the way, at the coast, drug dealers, boating violators, whatnot. But drink alcohol? Are you kidding me? You child, you can vote, you can elect the country's leaders. You can, at 18, you can vote and elect the leaders of America. You have enough maturity to do that, to choose the future of America. And you can get married too, you know, plan your life. But to drink alcohol, oh, no, no, no. We want to take care of you in America. We want to, like the Grateful Dead said in 1974, run your life. I'm Uncle Sam. That's who I am. Peppery, spicy, and dry. You get alcohol, sure, but not a lot. It's not boozy. Nope. Now, if I drink these, it's really not that much. It's not that much rum, but it's enough. And if I drink it too fast, it would be a bad idea. All right. So I'm already calling it. There's no use. It's no challenge. I knew that. This is the caliber, and it's gonna have the caliber designation. Yep. Caliber. That's Bacardi. Now I know some people say you could be cheating. You're just making that up. It doesn't say that on the tag. I mean, if I'm going to cheat, I'm crazy. Don't watch the channel, okay? I know I wouldn't. If I saw somebody doing taste tests and I thought they were cheating, I wouldn't watch their videos because I would think the person was crazy. I have no reason to cheat. Like, why would you be insane enough to cheat on a taste challenge? If you're that weak and you can't stand the embarrassment of being wrong, get off the internet. Don't do challenges. I mean, come on. Like Ozzy Osbourne sang in 1975, you're obsessed with fantasy, possessed with your schemes. But I'm not obsessed with fantasy and I'm not possessed with my schemes. I'm just doing taste challenges because I like to do it. And I'm doing it live so you could see. Maybe you say, I don't want to watch that. I would understand. I wouldn't take that personally. All right, let's go with the taste for what that's worth. All right. Took my cap off. You're saying, duh, I'm looking at the video. All right. Whoa. I know this much. You wouldn't need to flavor it. You know, they got flavored rums. Why would you flavor it? It's already flavored. It's already so sugary. Ay, yeah, yeah. Toot, toot, toot. That's the Sugarland Express. Get on the sugar train. We were driving to Texas. We saw so much sugar cane. I was telling my friend David, look at the sugar cane. Look at the sugar cane. From here, where I live, sugar cane, all the way into Texas, sugar cane. And rice. All right. Okay, calm down. You're getting too excited. It's a different world. It's a different world. It's spicy. Where does the spice come from? Tell me. I don't know. You know, it's in a barrel, a charred oak barrel, probably a used barrel. It's probably not aged too long. Bacardi itself is aged at least 1 year. They don't say anything about the Castillo being members of the Rums of Puerto Rico. It might be, but I didn't see it listed. That's a trade association where you must agree to age all your rums at least a year to join it. Here's the Bacardi Limited website. I'm looking at it right now. Our brands do so well, we believe, because of their consistent high quality and the excellence they add to the enjoyment of our consumers. So they're saying they think their brands do so well because of their consistent high quality. I've noticed that with Bacardi. Now, I've had people tell me, Bacardi, that's trash. I say, well, if Bacardi is trash, you know, I'm in a different world than you, because it's a lot of things, but trash doesn't enter the picture. I don't know where that comes from. Why would you think that? Bacardi's brands. Here's the brands. I'm stuttering. Here's the brands they make. Dewar's blended Scotch whiskey. I wasn't in love with that. My friend down the street, when he moved, somebody said, when are you going to do another video with him? Probably never, because he moved. He seemed interested in doing a lot. He called me and he said, could we do it over the air? I said, yeah. Of course, now got to do that StreamYard and all that. But he probably, now that he's away in another town 70 miles away, he probably never happened. But I mean, he was game for it. All right, Bombay Sapphire Gin, Grey Goose Vodka, Cazadores Tequila, Aristar Vodka. I never even heard of that. Martini Vermouth and Sparkler Wines. Yeah, Martini and Rossi. Patron Tequila. Here's their other brands. That's the big brands they have. Here's the other brands. Well, at least the ones they bother listing, because you know these companies already have stuff and then they have stuff. All the Bacardi brands. Some of this I've seen, a lot I have not seen. So that means they probably distribute to some places, some you can't get. Some of it's probably airport travel only. I love those travel only things, right? Havana Club. This is the Havana Club, not made in Havana. But it's the same recipe. When they fled the communist tyranny, they brought Havana Club with them. Now the communists in Cuba say, no, we make the real Havana Club. Havana Club. Yeah, well, you're communist, so we don't care. All right, Castillo Silva, Gold, Anejo, Spice rum. Oh, Oak Heart Spice rum, Palmas. I don't even know what some of this stuff is. Palmas, Estelar, Banks, 5 Island rum and Banks 7 Golden Age blend. Single Cane Estate rums. Worthy Park Estate, Jamaica. Single Cane Estate, Consuelo Estate, Dominican Republic. If y'all have heard of this stuff, let me know. Santa Teresa, 1796. St. Teresa. Okay. And I don't know. Facundo rum collection. Neo, Eximo, Exquisito, Paraiso. That's Facundo rum. See what I mean? I never heard of this rum. All these rums. Some of them, yes. Periat, XO Reserve. Vodka, Grey Goose. All the types of Grey Goose. L'Orange, Poire, Citron, Cherry Noir, Le Melon. Interpreted by Ducasse. That's Aristoff, Red, Black, Gold, Regular. 42 Below, Russian Prince, Natasha, Ultimate, other vodka-based spirit, Grey Goose VX, gin brands. I can't go through all of this. This will take too long. You get the picture? I was on my knees because I got tired of standing there. I didn't want to bend over and strain my back, although it probably wouldn't have really strained it. My back seems to be fairly resilient. Okay, I got my cap back on. Okay, you got it? Truck driver. I have a truck. I drive it, not an 18-wheeler, but it is a 1500 Ram 1500 tradesman. All right. Maxwell. Hello, Ron. Hey, Maxwell in the Russian Federation. Ricky Grand says, good day. Good day to you. All right. So here's the cut and dry of it. Which one tastes better? So we know which is what you, if you ever confuse these two, I don't know what you're doing, because I think that's impossible. Impossible. It's so strange, though. Oh, but not bad. Not bad. Just strange. See, some things can be strange and not bad. You say, what about Eraserhead? That was strange and bad. Yeah, I'll go along with that. And then David Lynch said, I'll make movies that are based on nightmares that he has or whatever. I said, well, I don't necessarily want to see a movie about your nightmare. Okay. And he did admit he took a lot of LSD, lysergic acid diethylamide. And if you watch his movies, you believe it. And Brian Wilson said, he said this very year, 2019, he said, warning to the young people, do not take all these drugs. He said, I did that. In my mind, what did Brian Wilson say? Ever since I took those drugs like LSD, smoked a lot of marijuana, all these psychedelic drugs, he said, my thinking was never good after that. He said, I took all that, my thinking was never straight. So imagine that. He said he started taking all that stuff in 1965, about that time frame. And it was like, once that happened, his thinking was never right. So imagine going through life for 54 years and you trying and you're failing to get your mind straight. And you know it's straight. It's kind of like you're in a dream and you're trying to wake up and you cannot. He said it's maddening. It drives him crazy. And he said, well, he is crazy. And he'll admit it. He hears voices and they tell him terrible things. But he didn't have that. Now, he probably had some trouble, let's say, before that. It seems to be the case. But it exasperated it to grand extent. You said, well, that's not everybody. Well, we know that. Notice at no point in this video did I say that applies to everybody. I said him. I said Brian Wilson. I didn't say you. But you can learn from what other people do. I know what you're going to say. Well, I got a brother. He smokes crack every day and he's not addicted. Okay, fine. Whatever. All right. Big B Man says, big fan of your reviews, man. Oh, thank you. So I can't, I guess you would have to say that Bacardi Silver, what am I saying Bacardi? I mean, it's Castillo. It is Bacardi, but it's Castillo brand from Bacardi. The Castillo is better, a better rum, theoretically at least. You know what I'm saying? In a theoretic sense, it's better. It's $7.99 a liter at that one store, but I'm not that terribly far from there. I can pass by sometime and buy it. I'm not going to be using this up anytime soon anyway. The normal price be about $10 though. The caliber, $9.96 every day, all day, every day, all day at Walmart. So we know what better. We know what the better value is. We know what the better value is. Assuming you could tolerate this caliber, I can, because it's kind of a very interesting flavor. I think if you drank a whole lot of it in one day, you would be turned off. It would be so sweet. But that would apply to anything, you see. So that you could say, well, I love Snicker bars, but if you had 8 of them, you might hate them and never eat it the rest of your life because you went overboard. So if you drink one glass like I'm doing of the Castillo, of the caliber, and you made mixed drinks like people do, and it'd probably be fine, you know. Now, is this going to measure up to $75 rums, really exquisite aged rums? Well, I mean, only a child, you would have to have a child's mentality to think that. So why even bring that up? No one's going to believe that, all right? Okay. But for a introductory price product, cheap product, it's fine. It's really, I haven't noticed that it evidences any off, weird, strange, or unpleasant flavors, which is a benefit. Ricky Grand said Brian Wilson never left his bed for years. Mental illness, not drugs. Wait a minute. These are not my words. These are his words, right? We always use primary sources, right? In research, what do we want to use? You say, well, I read an article by Jerry Shipman, and he's, okay, well, good. That's good. He wrote an article. Wonderful. That's a secondary source. What did Brian Wilson himself say? He himself. He said, after he took the drugs, the LSD, the marijuana, he could not think straight. And he began to deal with severe mental illness. Did the drugs cause the mental illness? I doubt that. I said earlier in the video, I don't think that was the case. I said it exasperated it. You see? So people, but you see, some people are very defensive about drugs. And I think we know why they're defensive about drugs, right? I don't even have to say it. You understand where I'm throwing at. I remember I used to teach high school I was a teacher for over 22 years, and you could always feel people out. I would say something, an implied statement in class, and the student would jump up. You throwing that to me? Now, at no point did I ever say that particular student was not paying attention. I never said you were talking. Of course, I was baiting the student. But they took the bait and they jumped out the desk screaming, you're throwing that to me, because why? They knew they were the one talking, right? So you get people that are very defensive about drugs. Now, there was only one reason for them to be defensive, and we already know the answer, right? It's like back in the 1950s, they would be in Congress having a hearing and say, Mr. Goldstein, have you, Mr. Goldstein, are you now or have you ever been a member of the Communist Party? Senator, I do not have to answer that question. That is an insult to my dignity as a man. You should be ashamed, Senator, to ask me a question like that. In the days of the founding of America, and they were going so long, and the senator would say, no, you're not going to grandstand and make a big speech. You are violating my rights. I am here to defend the freedom. No. Answer the question, Mr. Goldstein. Answer the question. Are you now or have you ever been a member of the Communist Party? They would never answer the question. And by refusing to answer the question, we knew the answer. But of course, the senators knew the answer before they asked the question. That's why he was being called to testify, because they would research these people's background. You say, well, there's no law against being a member of a party. Correct. That wasn't the purpose of the hearings. It was to find out who, and these people all had positions in government, movies, music, theater, television. What was the impact of their influence on the major media, you see? And so that's where the grandstanding came, you see. So it's very interesting to study those things. Like William Kepley said, it's oftentimes what you don't say that tells us much more than what you will say, you see. All right. So let's look at the comments, and then we're going to close it out. I can't call it a winner. I can't call a winner because they're so exotic one from the other that it would be almost impossible. It would be like saying, what's better, pizza or ice cream? Well, I mean, you know, who could say that? It's whatever you prefer. Or maybe they are tied. Maybe they're both good. I would say they're both good. And I would purchase both again, in theory, at least. In theory. I know it's past the top of the hour, but I'm about to get off. Unfortunately, we don't have enough research on these drugs because they're illegal. That's changing. Maybe someone like him could have been persuaded away from them or could have taken precaution if more research was done. Well, in 1965, lysergic acid diethylamide was not even illegal. We know today, what we do know is the Central Intelligence Agency was involved in the distribution of it as part of a very strange and troubling, not to mention troubling, social experiment. And the access for these groups, Jefferson Airplane, Grateful Dead, or the Warlocks, Beach Boys, Beatles, was very easy. Apparently they received the highest grade. And lysergic acid diethylamide and marijuana are both medicines. They have medical applications. All drugs have cocaine. They have medical application. But so it's very strange. So they took this stuff. They weren't. Now, at the time, 1965, it was generally accepted across the board, even in the music industry with all the music singers, that heroin was just a no-no. That was like bad. They knew that then, 55 years ago. Don't mess with heroin. You'll become a junkie. That's an old opium, well-known, extremely addictive substance. But these other things, maybe they weren't too aware, you see. So, and then you get to all the conspiracy theories that the whole thing was a sham, that it was designed for this. It was done for certain reasons, and but we're not going to get into all that. But the cut and dry of that is it did affect him in a very negative way. Now, John Lennon, on the other hand, he said, drugs helped me. That was his direct quote, drugs helped me, unquote. John Lennon, he said that. Now, his wife, his first wife, his original wife, or if you want to use the term, his authentic wife, Cynthia said, our relationship was very good until he started taking the LSD, and he never acted the same after that. This is her. I don't know why she would lie. She had no reason to lie. She said his behavior was never right after that. And our relationship was strange. His attitude was difficult, strange, detached, odd, unnerving, and the other members of the group would probably agree with that. So people are very quick to defend lysergic acid diethylamide and marijuana, but I would not be too enthusiastic about jumping on that bandwagon, especially when you realize the roots of it. CIA project, all these projects, Monarch. What was the other one? Project. You know what I'm talking about. So I would be very wary of jumping on that bandwagon. I don't know, but he's back touring. Could you imagine that? He might be back touring today. I don't get Brian Wilson updates on the hour, but I know just last month he said he was canceling his tour indefinitely to deal with reoccurrence of mental illness that he remarked was very severe, very severe. So it's your call. Do what you want. I'm only here on the internet. I don't determine people's life. You know what I'm saying? But I'll make. I'm not afraid to make comments about it. Also, I've never been reluctant to comment on it, which causes controversy with other people. You see, you run into people on the internet. They'll be hot to be your friend. Oh, I love your videos, man. Let's hang out and be friends. Okay, fine. Make friends on Facebook, whatever. Even fellow beer reviewers, I might add. But they're strange in a way because they apparently will only be friends with people who, you know what I'm saying, listen to their tunes, dance to their music, because invariably it'll come up where you don't agree on certain things, political, religious, whatever. I mean, this is common. This is like living in the real world. And then they become hostile. And Brian Wilson even talked about that. They come on like they're peaceful. This is a lyric from one of his songs. He was very insightful. He was a deep thinker, really, not exceptionally educated or anything, but he'd think. So he says, that's a very important lyric. They come on like they're peaceful, but inside they're so uptight. And I've run into people like that. And you have to be wary. You have to be wary. Be wary, because he's right about that. They come on like they're peaceful, but inside they're so uptight. And this is the flesh. This is a human. They're that way. I'm not saying be aloof or a recluse and don't be friends. I'm not saying any of that. I'm saying be on guard. Be careful. You know. All right. The videos of the soldiers on lysergic acid diethylamide is interesting for sure. Yeah, and they were given this drug without their knowledge. They weren't told, oh, we're going to dose you with LSD and then record your behavior. No, they just did it. And then they were going to research whether they could basically attack the Soviet Union with a chemical warfare, because LSD would be chemical warfare, would it not be? It's medicine. It's a chemical. But they figured out that probably wouldn't really be successful, right? It wouldn't help. But you have to be very wary of these things. And on Facebook, it's very difficult to talk about these concepts with your hoorah people. You know, I have some people on Facebook that are friends. I knew them from high school, but they're, you know, hoorah, I was in the army. Well, y'all know that's the Marines, you know, the hoorah. But their army, you know, doesn't matter, Navy, and they don't think, or they won't think, or they won't how you say it, look at things in an abstract manner. They have a dedicated mindset, and if you try to talk to them about concepts, they become very angry. And it's sad because they think they're smart, and it's very difficult to talk to a person that's dumb and doesn't know it. You know what I mean? And it doesn't matter, right wing, left wing, that's immaterial. They just on there posting all day. And so you say, well, they're Trump supporters. Well, they could be Trump supporters, or contra-wise, they could be Trump enemies. It doesn't matter. And they'll post all day. Oh, no. Let's just say Trump supporters. Let's take that for instance. This. They go all day. So I'll look at what they post. Okay. But then I'll see things that are like inconsistent. And I'll say, well, you know, like gun control, they'll say this and that. I'll say, well, you know, that country actually was more liberal about guns than what you're saying. Oh, well, they blow up. And they're like, if you don't effing like it, you can you can, it's like, wait, this is how you think? This is how you interact with people? You know, this is like a deranged way of interacting. Okay, so Neil Sullivan says a lot of people on social media are incapable of understanding nuance. Absolutely incapable. They're totally escapes their thinking. But boy, they can get angry quick. And it's funny because they'll talk a good show, you know, I can handle it. They're sort of like Animal Mother and Full Metal Jacket. You talk to these people and they're like, I can hack it, I can hack it. And I'm thinking, really? But of course they can't. Ricky Grand says, good points. I'm your friend. Love and peace. Semper Fi. Okay, well. Annabelle Herbert says, hey, baby daddy. Your wine review of Oak Leaf is great. Well, maybe that was a great review, but it wasn't a great wine. I was particularly displeased with it, actually. I never bought another Oak Leaf wine. Again, I wasn't too pleased. My friend and I watched it the other night, and we almost died laughing. Yeah, it had a lot of comedy in it because, yeah, I agree with you. That was grim. That was pretty grim. I was actually shocked because I didn't think it could be that bad. But I should have known better because I had some of those Trader Joe's wines. Oh, that was unbelievable. That Trader Joe's sherry, could not get over that. Oh, so bad. Don't even bring up the brandy, that Pierre Duchesne brandy. Oh, was it the worst brandy I ever had? No, it wasn't the worst, but it tied for the worst. Neil Selman said, I'll have to check out that review. Laugh out loud. Vietnam flashbacks you have in there, says Annabelle. I don't know about Vietnam. I was a baby during Vietnam. A toddler. I remember it, but I mean, no kind of flashbacks. All right. Thanks for watching this video production. And, about 2 days, we'll be back on for Dawn Busters. We've got Canadian whiskeys. Well, let's see who's calling. Probably some fake number. I'm from Tennessee, and I can send you some Old Smoky moonshine. We get that here to review. We get that. But thanks for the offer, but we get that. Bye-bye. Love your hat. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We're out of here. 14 minutes over.